Hi, you're back with Zoe Arthurs from Business Basics. So I thought we'd just do a really quick tutorial on what is money. So I was at the shop today and I just sort of looked down in my purse. I was paying with something with a £5 new plastic note, and I just sort of thought, actually, what is money? It's a piece of paper or a piece of metal that someone has attributed a value to, and we've all agreed. And suddenly, this is now exchanged into billions of pounds, zillions of pounds even, around the world on a daily basis. So it's just a bit of a fun tutorial. Stay watching if you do want to know about a bit more about money and where it came from and some of the security features of the new £5 notes. But yeah, just watch. So we know that obviously money is a good that acts as a medium of exchange and transaction. So we hand over our pieces of metal, our pieces of plastic and paper, and we get something of a value in terms of a product or service that we have wanted to purchase. So I just wanted to really, that's the sort of textbook definition, if you like, and I'm not going to read it out for you, but that's what they are saying money is. So where did it come from and who invented it? So up until about 1500 BC, all money, as we know, was like cattle and lambs, goats or pigs, and they used to just exchange. So, you know, I will give you this bag of corn if you give me that cow, etc. And steers were by far the biggest food animal, and so they were the highest denomination of money. And then obviously it went on, and then things started to, so, you know, then they would move on in terms of their bartering. They would arrive at their market and things had a higher and higher value. So Crete was actually called the Minoan civilization, the bull civilization, if you like, and worships of the male fertility god. So the pair of joined bull's horns symbolised that the particular ship carried real wealth traders. They were where cattle on board to be exchanged for local wealth items, so such as at this point sort of gold and things like that. So, graduating from carrying cattle along for trading in 1500 BC, the Phoenicians invented metal money, which they first formed into half iron rings that look like pairs of bull's horns. And many today mistake them for bracelets, actually. So, soon the traders found that those in previously unvisited foreign countries had no memory of the cattle on board trading days and didn't recognise the miniature iron bullhorn. So, if at that point metal was to be used for trading, then there were other kinds of metal they preferred trading with people, such as silver, copper, and gold, and they were easy to judge by hefting and were more aesthetically pleasing than the forged iron bullhorn symbols the Minoan civilization started. So, and this soon brought metal coinage into the game of world trading, with the first coin bearing the image of the sovereign of the homeland of the Phoenicians. So you can see how it sort of went on. We started from trading cattle, lamb, goats, pigs, etc., quite small change, and then actually someone said, well, actually let's, you know, carry smaller bits around rather than carting our cow with us everywhere we go, and we'll, you know, create these sort of bracelet items, and then move on to sort of, well, actually, why am I bending these pieces of metal into bracelets, sort of bull horns, when actually I could just use a round circle and say that that's given and give it a value. So that's where they were at this point. But we know that money doesn't have any inherent value. So unless you enjoy looking at pictures of deceased national heroes, money has no more use than any other piece of paper until, as a country or as an economy, we assign a value to it. So at that point, it does have value. So, but the value isn't inherent, it's assigned and generally agreed upon by world users. So until that point, we could just flap around a piece of A4 paper, and unless we could get lots of people to agree that actually that piece of paper is worth £1 million, it's not worth anything. And the same can be said for money. But the difference with the coins were the value of the coins was roughly based on the value of the metals they contained. So if it was silver, obviously it was less than gold, and gold coins obviously were worth a little bit more. And then we've obviously moved on to where money is today. So this was the £5 note I was paying for in the shop. And we know now that obviously it's got a plastic coating, which makes it far more robust and far more difficult for it to be copied. So it would hopefully reduce fraud. So there are different security features with the new £5 note and then the £20 note, and so on, as they start to replace them as time goes on. But in terms of the new £5 note, just if you've got one, grab rabbit because it's quite interesting. There is a see-through window and foil Elizabeth Tower, and the Queen's face, which is gold on the front of the note and silver on the back. So if you turn the note over, you'll see that it's two different colours. Around the edge of the window is a coloured border, and this will change from purple to green as the note is tilted. So if you just change it in the light, you'll notice the changes in the colour there. The pound symbol in the window will also change from purple to green on the £5 note. So again, just have a look. It's a good way of checking if you've got a real one or a fake one. Below the tower on the front of the note, there is a silver foil patch which contains a hologram, which will change from the word 5 to £5 when the note is tilted. At the top of the tower is an image of the coronation crown, appears three-dimensional and will display a rainbow effect when the note is tilted. On the back of the note, you can see a green foil patch containing the word Blenheim. And if you look at the note under ultraviolet light, the number 5 will appear in bright red and green over the word Bank of England. So there's a huge amount of security features in the new £5 note, far more than I actually realised until I started sort of researching this on the internet. But it is actually quite interesting to just have a look and see what our piece of paper is that everybody in the world has agreed has attributed a value to now covers. So just have a look when you've got your new £5 note and see what you've got. So the new £5 note is made of a polymor. It's a flexible plastic material which makes it far more robust and means that it can stay in circulation far longer than the previous paper. The banknote was originally issued on the 13th of September 2016 and they are cleaner, they're better for the environment as they last longer and the cost of printing them is far less. So the whole point of the Bank of England wanting to change our notes is really to become far more environmentally friendly so that actually we can give longevity to our monetary value, our pieces of metal and our pieces of paper that people have attributed a value to. So I also just wanted to introduce what you think is meant by the word free. So lots of people will go, oh, well, I'll get this free item when I purchase this magazine, or it's buy one, get one free, or, you know, I've just picked up this piece of this item, this top, for example, in a shop, and, you know, it was on 3 for 2, so I got this one free. But actually, do you? I mean, when you consider what is actually free, the chances are you've probably paid for it in the price of the magazine. So you haven't actually got a free lipstick with your magazine at all. It's been covered in the price. The buy one, get one free, you may have noticed in supermarkets that actually before they run a promotional campaign like that, they actually put the price up just a couple of pence before they plan to run buy one, get one free. So actually you've paid for it in your previous week's shopping and that cost of that item has therefore been paid for. When you've done things like, you know, I've bought 2 and I've got the 3rd free, have you? Just question, is it a good deal? Have you actually got that item for free? Because chances are nothing in this world is free. Unfortunately, you know, we're taxed heavily on living. In terms of our, you know, our wages, we have to pay our council tax, our road tax. We never get anything for free because actually we've already paid for it somewhere along the line. So just think before you're actually offered something for free, where has it been paid for? Who has paid for it? Maybe you've paid for it and you've not actually realised that you've paid for it. So it's just a really interesting concept that you can sort of consider actually. Is anything free? Because personally, I don't think it is. So just have a list all the things you can think of that are free and see if you can come up to them and just have a discussion with someone about what is actually meant by the term free and actually whether it is relevant in today's society at all. So, as I said, have we not already paid for these items? We are taxed heavily just to live, to breathe, to, you know, drink water from a tap as an example. We've already paid for our place on earth. We are paying for it heavily. And actually, when you are going to supermarkets and considering buy one, get one free offers, just consider actually, are they actually worth it? Because chances are they're probably not. So sorry to leave you on that really depressing thought, but I just wanted to introduce the role of money, what it is, and actually the concept of is anything free, because it would just get you thinking the next time you're in a supermarket and you never know, it may save you a couple of pounds. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.